things are coming to fruition with Global Entrepreneurship Week and some vets and tech stuff. And you are going to get a tiny, tiny break after Global Entrepreneurship Week. But tell us what's going on. I should have mentioned this in our... Ooh, I do not like that at all. That table's a little loose. For our Global Entrepreneurship Week, which officially kicks off worldwide on Monday, right?
Officially, yes.
We in Las Vegas are not following conventional norms because we never do here in Las Vegas.
We're being very disruptive.
And we're disruptive, which is the name of the game in entrepreneurship, right? We are setting the example for the rest of the world, literally. We are starting our Global Entrepreneurship Week here today with the Tech Alley event.
Yep.
And you have heard myself, Dave, just about everyone who comes on this stream sing the praises of Tech Alley and Josh Levitt, who's the visionary behind it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we get Josh on here a little later today to talk about what's new and exciting about Tech Alley. But give us the rundown on Global Entrepreneurship Week, generally what it is, what's coming up here in Vegas, why people who are watching and gonna be in Vegas this week, what they should be coming out for, and why they should be excited about it.
Yeah, well, there's layers to that, right? At first, I just do want to...
That's why I asked it the way I did.
Yeah, I want to echo...
I'm learning how to host.
I definitely want to echo everything about Tech Alley because it's almost like in a blink, I could see 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I remember it was cold outside. I remember Jeff Tatarchuk was doing a presentation at the building next door, which has changed a few different concepts since then.
Get a little closer to the mic.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. We're going to need to be right up on them today.
Right on them. Yeah, it's been fascinating to see how much Tech Alley has grown and where it's come through, different changes. It's hot outside during the summer. There's been those weeks where we're just sweating to death and the cameras are dying upstairs. And
we literally had ice packs on the camera until last month.
Yeah.
And I brought them today just in case we need them. So.
Yeah, right. And then it's kind of like a muscle memory, right? So it's just really fascinating to see how much this has been such a connective piece to the community. And just like that, Global Entrepreneurship Week is no different. You know, I've been a fan of Global Entrepreneurship Week ever since I went to my first one almost 10 years ago.
10 years ago, right?
And Tulsa, Oklahoma. But then I also got the experience to check one out in Kansas City, which is where it was founded. It's part of the Kauffman Foundation, and the easiest way that I've found to describe it that people can digest is Global Entrepreneurship Week is 10,000 events all around the world this week. They're happening in 120 other countries all around the world, and this is happening really to inspire and educate and promote the idea that entrepreneurship, the theme this year is entrepreneurship is for everyone. Now, you and I know that it does weed out the people that aren't really conditioned for entrepreneurship.
Everyone can be an entrepreneur. Yeah. Not everyone will be an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
Right?
It's a great point.
And I can tell you, as someone who's had a business for 10 years now, there are hard days. And I'm going to tell you there are hard days if you want to be an entrepreneur. You're not going to believe me. I mean, you're going to go, yeah, sure, there's going to be hard days. You're not going to get how hard some of these days are where you're like, maybe I'll go get a civil service job.
Right. Sometimes we'll do that too.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. But I guess the whole idea for Global Entrepreneurship Week, in each community, I tell people it's like the reverse Olympics. For the Olympics, everybody competes in their sport. They all go to one place every 2 to 4 years, and they show what they're about. Mm-hmm. In Global Entrepreneurship Week, it's something that we could celebrate in our individual communities. So here in Las Vegas, over the years, we've had anywhere from 20 to 30 events all during that week, while everyone else is hosting events all over the world. One of the challenges that we've had for the last 2 years is it happens to fall the same week as F1, but we're not looking at that as a hindrance. We're looking at that as an opportunity to still show up, right? Still show up, host events. I think this year we've got close to 30 events that are happening all around F1. So we've got the events that happen today for Tech Alley. We'll be doing a Vets in Tech veterans in entrepreneurship panel a little bit later today. We've got
which our intent is to bring that to you live on this stream in its entirety. Mm-hmm. And that will be what time?
That's at 1:15.
1:15. So if you're really interested in hearing from some veteran entrepreneurs, tune in. I mean, stay all day.
Right.
Hear me now, believe me later, stay all day. It's all going to be great. But we're going to try to bring you that entire panel from the room it's in on this stream, top to bottom.
Yep, absolutely. And then starting on Monday, we have a whole network of events that are happening throughout the week. One of the really cool things that we try to do is remove the barriers for people to host events. One local venue, Bottega Exchange, actually opened up their doors all week. They're doing free co-working all week, and they have not only speaking space for keynotes, but they also have some workshop space that they've donated as well.
I'm doing my event there on Friday.
Yeah, you're doing an event there on Friday. We've got a couple of different events going on Monday. Events going on throughout Nevada Partners all week long. And then there are going to be some people on and off the strip that are hosting some stuff sort of in conjunction with that. So it's really fascinating to see how it's changed, how it's evolved over the years. And then we've got some really great stuff that we're looking forward to next year that I'm going to be doing through Vets and Tech. In the way that we got involved earlier this year, we did a just like a mini Global Entrepreneurship Week. We did a Freedom Week that was just veteran entrepreneur stuff the week after 4th of July. And we're going to be duplicating that in a couple different communities throughout the United States.
Can't wait. That's going to be exciting. So before we dig into what's exciting coming up this week, better. Before we dig into that, tell everybody who is going to be in Vegas or is interested in what's happening in Vegas this week coming up, where they can find the Global Entrepreneurship Week events.
Yeah.
Where they can learn more.
Absolutely. Yeah. So there's two different places. One is you can go to the global site, which can be a little challenging to navigate, but we still encourage people to check it out. It really helps you understand everything from a bigger perspective. So I remember I had somebody set up an event for Thursday. Shout out to the team over at OTSI. They're going to be hosting a Funders and Founders event. But when he got on the global site, it's gew.co. He goes, oh, this is global. And there's literally a big global map with all the pinpoints of all the events that are going on.
I mean, it is in the name.
It is in the name. But still, somehow some people thought it was just my thing. But gew.co, that's the global site. You could search by the city. You could search by the country, and you can even search by the map if you want. But that's going to show all the events that are happening. Then beyond that, we've kind of localized that information as well. So if you go to www.gewnevada.com, not co, but .com, you'll be able to see the calendar of events there. That's a little bit more on a localized level. So we're trying to make sure that those communicate the same thing.
Little user friendly.
Yep, little easier to navigate.
Won't help you if you're in another city.
Yep.
At least it won't help you find events in your city,
right?
But it will help you find events in Las Vegas that you might think are cool and want to join us at.
Yeah. And with that, I also want to add, a special shout out to the team that's made this whole year happen. Jason, you've been on the volunteer committee for that. We've also got some great community organizers. So we did expand our efforts up into Reno. So there's just a few events that are happening in Reno. But big shout out to Lourdes Madrigal. She's with the Veterans Business Outreach Center. She raised her hand and like a good veteran, right? We said yes. But she helped out and get a few events going up there, but we're really going to be in a good position to make a significant dent in the universe next year. And then also the local team here, we've got Elias Benjaloon with Nevada Partners
North Las
and
Vegas.
Tech Start. Yep, he's from North Las Vegas. We've got Nadia Russo and Lauren Jones here in Las Vegas. And then we had Ben Lafsky step up.
And not just as Las Vegas community organizers, Nadia and Lauren have really stepped up in a lot of ways to make sure the lines of communication are flowing and people know what's going on. They've really become kind of the glue that's pulled this thing together.
Lots of
besides
social
Dave,
media.
who's leading the charge. So.
Lots of social media posts. That's been really helpful. And then there's going to be a big press release that goes out following this. And that's where we're really going to bring in the government agencies and officials to say, hey, this is what we did. We've done this a couple years now, kind of bootstrapping it. We're going to need some help and support. And I think next year we're going to be in great shape. But then also Ben Lafsky.
Yep. I wanted to make sure we shout out Ben, not just for being the Henderson organizer, but for the website and all the tech behind what's going on with GEW in Vegas this week.
Yeah, he's done a really good job in communicating everything over. And I know that we've got some stuff that's on the local site, some stuff that's on the global site. We'll make sure that before the end of the week, before we turn in all of our reports and all of our data to Gen Global, that we'll make sure that that's all consistent across the board, and we'll see kind of what impact we actually made here during Global Entrepreneurship Week.
One more thread to pull. You talked about Gen Global really briefly. You mentioned it. What is Gen Global?
Yeah. So Gen Global, and there's elements of that I didn't even bring up this year because I really wanted to get the community to understand what Global Entrepreneurship Week is. The big pool, Gen Global is a international nonprofit organization. I've had the honor and privilege of meeting the chairman of the board, who was one of the original employees.
You might have been in an
and
elevator,
co-forward.
right?
Well, no, I met him at the same event. I met Jeff Hoffman at David Meltzer's studio years ago, and then we circled back up in Puerto Rico.
Yep.
And then when I met him in Puerto Rico, he's actually been to Las Vegas twice, and he has a really unique interest in what's going on here. Not only because it's Las Vegas, but because he's friends with like Pitbull, and he's friends with Shaquille O'Neal and stuff like that. So
you're gonna give them boom boxes too?
We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to figure it out. But Gen Global is actually like 13 programs, all that have to do with entrepreneurship on a global level. Global Entrepreneurship Week is just one of those organizations within the 13 programs. So Gen Global is really a fascinating organization that's moving mountains all around the world. A lot of philanthropists, but one big element that we didn't even bring to GEW this year is there's a global pitch competition.
Yep, and maybe our new friend Tarby will help us out with that in Vegas.
Exactly. I think we're going to be able to make a significant splash with that coming up in 2025, and we'll really start ramping up towards that, especially with some of the bridges that we're building between here and Austin, Texas, with South by Southwest and things of that nature too. So Gen Global is a fascinating organization. Really excited to see how we could leverage more of their programs here in time. And then as we do that, I think it's really going to help shape a pretty impressive ecosystem here in Las Vegas.
So are we done with GEW? I want to move on.
I think so.
Okay. You mentioned Austin, Texas.
We'll put a pin in it.
And when I think of Austin, Texas, I always think of Vets in Tech, because that's how we found out about Vets in Tech here in Las Vegas. So tell us about what's going on with Vets in Tech. You and I have had some fantastic Vets in Tech experiences recently. So fill us in.
We have. Well, just most recently, speaking of Austin, Texas, there was just another event in Austin Friday night. So last night, actually. So we had VetCap. VetCap was in Austin, Texas last night. For those of you that may remember, if you were here during Freedom Week, we actually had a VetCap here in Las Vegas.
In July.
VetCap is July 11th. Yeah. VetCap is one of those organizations or one of those events that is specifically hosted around educating entrepreneurs, especially in the veteran ecosystem, how to get funding. So we had somebody there that spoke about bootstrapping. We had somebody there that spoke about traditional lending. We had somebody that spoke about venture capital. And it's really fascinating to hear all of the different ways that veterans can get funded depending on the type of business that they have. But also, hearing it directly from the organizations that are writing checks is very, very incredible. So we did the one in July. There's one that was just in Austin, Texas last night. And just a week ago, we were in San Francisco. We took a nice little, 9-hour drive?
9 hours up, 9 hours back.
9 hours up, 9 hours back.
We laughed, we shared, we cried.
We solved all the problems of the economic development world.
I think the two of us riding up in my Jeep and riding back, we spanned every possible human emotion. And we solved every problem the world could face. And I only wish we remembered everything we talked about.
I even broke up with my girlfriend, which it happened. We're just
no lie. He broke up with her via text.
It's very emotional trip.
Yeah.
But we're winning. No, that was a great
Such
trip.
a good time. That's our second time going up to that.
Well, and this came up in the meeting because that's another one of those interesting things that trying to get people to understand what Vets in Tech here. We've been working on this for over a year, but I took one photo in front of their backdrop, and all of a sudden, like, people start getting it. Whenever you see, all the big brands like AT&T and Uber and stuff like that, they're like, wait a minute, what?
Never underestimate the power of a red carpet. Now, I know
and a step and repeat.
For the more and a step and repeat. I know for some of the more technically minded folks, because I didn't get this either until very recently.
Yeah,
this is we don't do red carpets and step and repeats and all that kind of stuff for our own egos. We do it to promote the event that's going on. We do it to promote the organization that's going on. We do it to promote all those great sponsors who are on the backdrop of what we're doing. We have our Vets in Tech banner here. I don't think we have our sponsor banner here, but
we don't. I broke it.
Yeah, well, it's all right. It still works.
We're getting more, though.
Unless you broke it more.
Well, no, that's actually a good point. No, I did break it a little bit more, but actually I couldn't figure out how to work it. But that did come up on the last call with Vets in Tech, and they're like, "Oh, if you guys need some marketing stuff, let's get it going."
Yeah, it was time for new ones anyway. The sponsor list on that was very old anyway. But yes, that's why we do that. It's not about our own ego being up on camera.
And
it's about promoting all the great people and great things
Yeah.
that are going on with the organization.
And we ended up raising a lot of money at I just found this out too in the recap meeting that I had with the director, or with the CEO and the COO, the senior leadership team. We raised over $60,000 just in the auction alone.
That was my low end estimate of what we raised that night, because I was trying to do the math in my head on the auction plus the ticket prices and donations and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you've never been to a live auction, like I know a lot of events do silent auctions, and that's fun. If you've never been to a live auction with a real live auctioneer, this is mind-blowingly fun, even if you're not bidding on anything.
And their auctioneer is the guy who's like the hype man for the Sacramento Kings, right?
Hype man for the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, Golden State Warriors.
Golden State Warriors.
Wow.
So yeah, he does it
totally
right. We need to get him down here for one of these sometime.
Well, we've got to get you know who we need to get? It's who's our guy here in Vegas? It's the Mark Chinook guy, right?
Mark Chinook.
Yeah, we need to get that guy. So calling you out, Mark. Calling you out. This is what they do in San Francisco. This is what we got to do here.
I think if we asked, he would at least consider it.
Yeah. Well, he's a pretty good guy. He's the guy that hosts the Mondays After Dark, right?
Mondays After Dark.
And then the Veteran Social Club is actually being featured at their event Monday night.
Oh, is it this month?
Yeah.
I got to see if I can get tickets.
So we
I don't
might
know if it's too late. I didn't realize it was this month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that booked like a year ago.
We don't have anybody from Veteran Social Club today, do we?
We don't. We
need to do that sometime, is get them down here. I'm only really peripherally involved. Can you give a quick rundown on Veteran Social Club?
Yeah, Veteran Social Club is another great veteran organization here. As you know, for those of you that kind of follow me or that have been on a lot of stuff that I'm in, I very much focus on the world of entrepreneurship. Now, because I'm with Vets in Tech, that carries over into employment and education. However, there are a lot of other great veteran organizations that are out there. We'll have a few guests today, but one of them is Veteran Social Club, and TJ is a phenomenal human. He actually helped develop a lot of the veteran program stuff for MGM.
He first created the veteran program for Caesars.
Yeah,
and I believe that was the first really true comprehensive veteran benefits program for a resort casino in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and then
at least for a long time, and then he moved somewhere else and did it somewhere else, and now he's back with the Horseshoe. Right?
Yeah, he's with the Horseshoe, but the Veteran Social Club, they really focus on fun things that are more just social activities.
They're
right?
Fun events,
fun events. I think they have a softball team, and they do a couple of other things, but they're doing the big fundraiser with Monday's Dark, or whatever it's called.
Okay, Monday's Dark is what it's called. It is Monday's Dark. The name comes from traditionally Broadway shows, and used to be shows in Vegas would not be going on Mondays. The stage would be dark, and now in Vegas we don't do that anymore because shows can't afford to not be selling tickets here.
Last night I got invited to Usher last minute, and I couldn't go. I was hooked on that.
I bet Usher was disappointed.
He was probably up on stage watching the Mike Tyson fight.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt.
But yeah, so their Veteran Social Club is another one of those great organizations. We've all sort of unofficially home based over at the Leatherneck Club, and you can pretty much catch all of the different organizations in some way, shape, or form over there on Tuesdays. We've started office hours, which is just kind of an unofficial meetup. We need to turn that into a meetup group, like on meetup.com.
We need to make it a little more official
and get it to where it's bringing in some more people.
So since our good friend Ghost is not here to do it, tell us about the Leatherneck Club, and tell us about office hours, and tell us about some of the great ways Leatherneck Club has supported. They do great support for the veterans community in general, but I really want to dial in on what they've done for the veterans entrepreneur community for the last year or so. Yeah,
so the Leatherneck Club is it's a Marine Corps bar. It is open to the public. It's open to anyone, but it's become one of those bars that's what does he call it? It's a bucket list bar. So there's people that are in the military across all branches that know that if they're in Las Vegas, they need to stop by the Leatherneck Club. They've been very instrumental in helping some of the Marine Corps veteran organizations, like the Marine Corps League has a chapter that's based there. They've turned half of the facility into what's it called? Like a museum.
Yep.
Because so many people have donated all kinds of stuff from all the different eras of all the wars. There's all kinds of memorabilia. There's hundreds of challenge coins that have all been donated to the case. The unique experience for me is when I moved to Chinatown 3 years ago, everyone told me that I should find the Leatherneck Club, and I had no idea that it was right across the street from my house. So
and now you live 36 paces from
yeah,
it.
302.
302
paces away.
My legs are longer than Dave's.
But I actually have really seen them be involved with so many organizations, not just here in Las Vegas, but especially for the veteran entrepreneur community. They've continued to consistently host events. Last year, after we finished Global Entrepreneurship Week, we jumped right into, there was a graduation for Bunker Labs that was there. That's where I got connected with the Lieutenant Governor's Office of Small Business. And that's just been a catalyst for everything that we've done throughout the year. But we hosted events for Freedom Week there at the Leatherneck Club. I know Frank with Warrior Rising, who's probably going to be on the show in a little bit.
He's probably going to be on a show in just a couple of minutes.
Oh, he's sitting right over there.
Yeah.
We see him.
He has not escaped my notice, but I wanted to get all the GEW vets in tech. I wanted to get the update out.
Yeah.
But it is kind of time. Enough about us.
Yeah.
And let's talk to another veteran.
Yeah.
About what he's got going on. He's going to talk about Warrior Rising.
Yeah, Warrior Rising and
his company,
business,
right?
Because he's been slaying it lately.
Yeah,
it's been pretty remarkable.
If you'd be so kind, would you like to take the host chair?
I got you.
And you can interview Frank for a little while. I'm going to go line up a couple of things and see if we can get some more guests on here.
Let me get just a little bit of water.
All right. So Dave is going to get a little bit of water. This is a great time for me to thank you all for watching. Encourage you to come on down to Tech Alley. We are in downtown Las Vegas at the corner of Charleston and Main. We are sitting in the restaurant at Taverna Costera. We've got a bunch of folks who are enjoying the food and drink here. And Taverna Costera, they are kind enough to be one of the primary sponsors for Tech Alley. Every month, they provide coffee, they provide water, they provide the space for us to do this. And they also provide a free lunch to everyone who comes down as a Tech Alley participant. So come on down to Tech Alley if you're interested in all aspects of tech, AI, crypto, NFTs, drones, software development, hardware prototyping, entrepreneurship, investing, anything involved with tech or the tech ecosystem or the entrepreneurial community. Come on down. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The best networking event in Las Vegas. If you've got a business or an organization that supports entrepreneurs of any kind, or tech of any kind, or veterans of any kind, come on down, meet the folks down here. I've been coming here almost every month for 3 years, and I have never left here without making a valuable connection to somebody while I've been here. So I'm going to turn over the host chair to Dave Burlin, and he will bring Frank up, and they will talk for a little while, and I will see you all in just a little bit. Thanks for watching. Enjoy.